Let's do this. The Cup of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with Bruce McCurdy. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, David, how are you doing tonight?
I'm
Thrilling start to the new season?
Not the home opener we were hoping for. Not entirely unexpected. I mean, the Oilers have been dining out on the most positive press clippings in the world for the past month or two.
Mm-hmm.
And, everyone's predicting them to win the cup, and they have a good team. But tonight was not their night. Tonight was a brain fart of a game in every
One after another.
possible way for the Edmonton Oilers. Terrible defensive breakdowns. So it was an interesting game, Bruce, in that what were the shots on net in the game? Do you know?
33-27 for Vancouver.
Okay.
They were 19 all at even strength, but 5-0 for Vancouver at even strength. And on the power play, Vancouver had 14 shots and Edmonton just 7. And Vancouver did have more power plays.
So the shots are close. According to our grade A scoring chances, and some of this was score effects, the Vancouver had 16 and the Oilers had 15, with each team having 6 of the very best chances.
Yeah.
Despite that closeness in shots and in grade A shots, this wasn't a close game. And Vancouver, they just seemed to really want this game, Bruce. They came out flying. And the Oilers came out kind of, they tried to match Vancouver's energy for a while, but they just started to have major breakdown after major breakdown, and we'll quickly get to this. All right, Bruce, this is our customary 2 good things, 2 bad things, and 2 numbers podcast. But because it was like a wretched game, hopefully one of the most wretched games we'll witness this year, we'll go with 2 bad things each. But to start it off, we shall start it off each with a good thing. What is your good thing, Bruce?
Well, I like to play Warren Foegele in this game. And, he came out hustling hard and skating, hitting, and creating chances. And I thought, he was half decent. And half decent shone on the Oilers tonight. But it was him and his line mates, Ryan McLeod and Dylan Holloway, they're going to be an exciting line to watch. I suspect, unfortunately, they're going to be a very frustrating line to watch because they're going to create a million chances and they're basically going to miss all of them. That's my takeaway. And, there's just no finisher among the 3 of them, and that showed a couple times tonight. And, they're big, fast, hungry players. Like, there's going to be lots to enjoy. Anyway, Foegele, I thought, was one guy that just came out and gave a consistent effort for 60 minutes, even drew a penalty there at the end of the game with a good hustle play. And he was least worst.
Well, he had 2 grade A shots on net, and one of them was just a
rocket
off the face off there, kind of a scramble play. Man, that was so close to scoring. He caught Demko unawares, but Demko was able to get a piece of the puck, something that Jack Campbell and Stuart Skinner were not able to get on a lot of shots, is a piece of that puck. And Demko had a pretty good game as well. But I agree. I like that line, Bruce. I thought it was their best line, which isn't saying a whole heck of a lot. But nonetheless, it was their best line. We can hope that Dylan Holloway is not injured, but we'll get to that in a moment. My good thing, Bruce, is the obvious thing. I mean, it was Leon Draisaitl's goal. It is always a thing of beauty to see the executioner shot, and basic McDavid to Draisaitl, and again, it's always amazing that he's just right down there, right, near the corner, near the goal line, and able to fire that puck in. It must be so impossible, so difficult for the goalie to stop that kind of shot, because you're just not expecting that kind of accuracy and velocity from that spot, from a player you do not see. and cannot see because your eyes are fixated on the area in front of you. You know he's there somewhere, but before you locate him or the shot coming at you, it's in the net. And it is the single greatest weapon right now in the NHL. And fantastic to see that execution at least once in this game, in a game which was again the Oilers. Their defensive effort was abysmal.
Putrid.
So let's just get to it. What's your first bad thing?
Well, I saw not much that I enjoyed on the defensive side of the puck tonight, but standing out for me was a wretched performance by Evan Bouchard in his first game as Edmonton's number one right defenseman. And I don't know, man. I mean, he just didn't seem to be engaged in the game. Like he was soft on the puck. He was soft away from the puck. I hate using that word, but I don't know what other word to use. He was whiffing the puck when he was trying to make plays or coughing it up. And, officially, no giveaways somehow. No giveaways. I guess they gave takeaways to the guys that took it off him then. He did get an assist on a kind of rote pass on the power play that was a McDavid and Draisaitl goal, and I just thought very poor defensively and very cavalier with the puck, and -3 took a penalty, was sitting in the box for a fourth goal where he grabbed a guy's stick rather than make a hard play on the puck. He didn't, and wound up being in a disadvantageous position and grabbing the guy's stick. And I just thought a pretty lame effort. And at the same time, I'm kind of thinking, well, you could probably be singling out a whole bunch of guys in this game, and maybe it's unfair to single out one guy. I mean, my first thought was to say the whole Edmonton defense was poor, but you wouldn't let me do that one. So I will hang some goat horns on Evan Bouchard as one of more than one.
Yeah, you can say they're all poor. It's just like we got to break. We got to
Right.
When you got four bad things, you got to break it down a little bit more. You got to share the pain.
I would have had a longer list, is all, because other guys made other mistakes, and holy moly, I think
Bouchard on that first goal against soft. He was in the corner, battling for the puck, and he just loses the puck battle. Mm-hmm. And then McDavid is late,
slow
getting in there. Poor read by McDavid. Pass out, and Nurse is slow screening the goalie on, and boom, it's 2-0. To me, that was the key moment in the game. And Bouchard starts off the sequence of pain with a really lame loss. And then on the 8th goal, he caps off everything. Nurse makes a bad pinch. McLeod's battling at least to get back into the play to cover for Nurse. But Bouchard is just... I mean, if that wasn't the 8-1 goal, if that had been a significant goal, that was totally unacceptable defensive posture and aggression from Evan Bouchard covering the goal scorer on that play, because you just lost the battle essentially totally and let the guy in to score a goal. It was pathetic. So not Evan Bouchard's best game. Bruce, I'm going to single out Brett Kulak, who I thought was quite out of sorts this game. He was skating okay, but he was out of position a lot. And that includes the first goal of the game, which was a great play by Elias Peterson. He gets the puck, and Philip Broberg goes to him, and he just immediately lobs the puck over Bouchard, which is a tough play for Broberg. He lobs the puck over Broberg towards the net. Tough play for Broberg to stop. Kulak, though, lost his man. And if you just take the man, if you're on the man, maybe you can avoid that goal against. And he was a little bit out of play. I didn't really blame too much either defenseman. I mean, we marked them down as making mistakes, both of those guys. That was more a great and kind of lucky play, a lob pass, a bouncing puck, and deposited in the net. So, but it was the third goal against that. Let me just make sure that's correct. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's the third goal against that I really didn't like Kulak. And the It's kind of a weird play because the Canucks are breaking fast in the Oilers' end, and Kulak just gets out of position essentially. Now maybe he moves out of position because McDavid's kind of taking his spot, but really he just gotta he's the defenseman. Get back in your defensive position. Instead, he kind of gets trapped in the middle of the ice during this whole play, where there's a outside shot on net, a rebound, and then the puck gets put in. But Kulak is through the whole play he's in the red light zone, which is wandering around, covering no one, covering no passing lane, and he's out of the play. So this was a mental error on his part. He's just got to bear down and get in the game. And he was caught up ice on it a bit. Just can't happen. And because of that, the Oilers are down then 3-0. And really, they did come back last year when they were down 3-0, but that doesn't happen that often. So I didn't think it was his best game. Of course, he's been injured. This is his first game, so there is for him at least.
In a while, yeah.
First, you expect him to be rusty, and he was rusty. I mean, the whole team, they kind of cruised through preseason, not playing the veterans a lot, not playing the whole team a lot, playing a lot of other players, and I think that they paid for that a little bit tonight. Kind of a fairly complacent approach to preseason. I'll put it that way. And that complacency kind of infected their game to some degree tonight. They just weren't sharp, and Kulak was part of the problem. Your second bad thing, Bruce.
Yeah, well, what I fear might be an injury to Dylan Holloway, who had a fairly strong game of his own in terms of hustle and effort and making things happen. He took a bad penalty in the offensive zone, which cost a goal, so he wasn't listed as my good thing for that reason. But his hustle was turned against him on a third period penalty kill, trailing 7-1. He made a play to block a shot, and then he made it what I consider a hero play to block another shot, slap shot from outside, and he did the old street hockey glove save and a beauty. Took it right in the palm of his hand, if I saw my screen correctly, and I'm very concerned that he left the ice and he did not return last 10 minutes of the third period. And the last thing the Oilers and their 19-man roster need is another injury. And this, I mean, credit him for the effort, but self-preservation is a thing, and he needs to learn it, because that would be a costly loss to the team that can't afford to be losing guys. And it's just, if you need a glove save on a slap shot, that's what the goalie is for,
Yeah, what poor Dylan Holloway. I mean, his history with injury is.
Him, but
Bruce, I'm going to defend him.
It's a bad thing. I'm not going to blame him. I'm just going to say it's a bad thing if he got hurt in that bloody game.
All right, we agree there. I don't think he meant to block it with his hand. I think he was actually had his hand hidden, and then he just twisted around and it hits his hand. I've had this happen. I've had this happen in hockey where I'm playing like rec hockey. I don't want to block the puck at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a defenseman. I'm never looking to block the puck. But 5, 6, 7, 8 times a year, I end up blocking a puck, and I regret it every time, especially if it hits my hand. And sometimes it just does. Like the puck just hits your hand. It's hot. Like it moves fast, and you're in the way. And I think that's what happened to him, where he was going for the block. So there is that. And maybe you could say, well, don't try to block a shot late in the game where you're down 7-1, which is a fair enough point. But he's also trying to, lift the team, build for the next game, show that he's willing to commit, show that he's willing to sacrifice. And so there's a whole lot of reasons why he's trying to do that, which I understand all of them. And I just think it was just super bad luck on his part. And sometimes it happens in hockey. So hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, hopefully, because they're in a bad way with a tight roster. And
sure are. Yeah.
So anyways, it's just frustrating. And it's, like I say, it's a bad thing whether, however it happened, to see a guy going down the tunnel in a 7-1 game.
That is a bad thing.
Sucks.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to see. That's what I was hoping. Like, can we just get out of this game without an injury? Was my thought heading into the third period. And it didn't happen. Bruce, my bad thing is screening the goalie. I mean, okay, on the first goal or second goal, we've already mentioned that Nurse came out and he was late to the shooter Besser. He was
Hmm.
kind of the least responsible player, except that he's completely screened Campbell on the play. Like Campbell didn't see the shot because Nurse screened him, and that's a tough play. And then on the power play, Nurse just I can't remember who shot it from outside. I think it might have been Pedersen, Elias Pedersen, and Besser was there also screening. But Nurse just totally screened Stuart Skinner on that play, and it was a total eclipse of the sun screen. Like they just no way for
Hmm.
the goalie to see it. And then DeHarnay,
Well, Besser also screened him. He was right
Besser also did.
inside.
And then DeHarnay on the seventh goal, again on the power play. DeHarnay did a heck of a job screening Skinner. Might have, a save might have been
Hmm.
nice on the play, but I don't think. Again, it's really hard for the goalie. You get a 6'7" guy
Hmm.
who's 230 pounds in front of you, screening you. You're just not. A lot of the times, you're not going to make that save. So you either got to block the shot or get out of the way. And DeHarnay and Nurse on those two power play goals did neither, and that was part of the problem with the Oilers tonight. Bruce, your number.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 8-1, David. And
Okay.
that was the score of this game. This was tied for the worst loss for the Oilers in the Connor McDavid era. And they lost last time they lost was 8-1, same score, 8-1 at New York Islanders on February 7th, 2016 in McDavid's rookie season. And this was right after he came back from his clavicle injury. And this was a poor team that missed the playoffs by quite some distance and wound up. In fact, they fell from second to fourth in the draft lottery, and they were just a nascent sort of turning it around. They just gotten McDavid, Draisaitl, they were all new, and they had a poor game in New York and lost 8-1, and that is the worst score since then, like 8 seasons later, that they've been beaten so soundly as a 7-goal loss. And to do it on the season opener in a season where we're talking about what a great offense they have, how they're working on their defensive game, how they got uh, uh, Stanley Cup favorites. I kept hearing that all week, and what the hell happened? I mean, honestly, it shouldn't have been an 8-1 game, but they were the second team by a very wide margin in this game. And embarrassing is one word I would use for that performance, and hopefully motivating, because if they don't show up Saturday night with a whole heck of a lot better effort than that, then I'm officially going to be concerned 2 games into the season. So bad was game one. That if they don't come out of the chute on Saturday night with a burr up their ass, something's wrong. Simple as that. They'll be playing the same team, and they'll have plenty of reason to be motivated to take it to them. And
I
tonight
hear
there
you.
was silly penalties, and when what was time to take it to them was lay the lumber on the back of their legs or cross check. You know, how about playing a little more physically and playing like you wanted to win the puck, and then like you wanted to keep the puck once you got it.
Yeah. My number, Bruce, is -3. Connor McDavid was a -3 on goals plus minus,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of earned. He certainly on the second goal against, he was just late to his player, late to his check, and allowed that pass out. And it was a key play in the game.
Oh, game winner.
We are counting on McDavid to be like +40, +50 this year, to have a great season as a two-way player. And he just didn't have that tonight. He was not particularly strong at even strength. And, he made the one major mistake on he made three. We tagged him actually with three major mistakes on grade A shots at even strength, and he only made three contributions to grade A shots. So usually, with grade A shots at even strength.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay. So usually, excuse me, McDavid is +2 grade A shots per game overall. In this game, he was even. So for him, this was a poor game, and he's not alone. I'm just saying
Nope.
expectations are high for him. They should be.
Yep. Yep.
He is the best player in the league, the top paid player in the league, is he not? And
McKinnon is now
well,
by
McKinnon is
point
now.
one
Oh, there you
of
go.
a million.
Anyway, I usually don't bring up how much money they make
No,
because,
but it
he's
is an expectation of what the players expect to contribute.
yeah,
It's a share of the team.
they got to shut it down on defense, and they didn't come
Oh,
close tonight. They did not come close. Defense last year was a shambles. It was a mess, especially in the playoffs. They've got to
yeah.
get on this. They've got to
hmm
figure this out, and they've got to do it fast. They've got to start playing some shutdown defense. And tonight, a combination of factors, including some weird goals against. I mean,
hmm
one goal gets kicked in off a shin pad, and
Oh,
the first goal is kind of this amazing, like weird lob goal and batted out of the air,
great
like
pass. Yeah.
tough play. But there was also just some defensive breakdowns, and McDavid was on the ice for the second and the third goal against, where there was major defensive breakdowns. So not his best game.
Yeah. Well, the elephant in the room here is the continuing absence of Matthias Ekholm,
Yeah.
who has missed now all of the preseason, and he missed the first game of the season. He was brought in to settle down the defense, which he did, and now they're without him again, and they look as unsettled down as almost as possible.
Yeah, and
Man, that was a poor defensive effort tonight.
Kulak, who had played so well at the end of last year, kind of, he was
Yeah,
weak
well,
at the start of the season last season, and tonight he was not the player that we saw at the end of last season. I thought actually Cece looked better to me than he had looked last year. He looked like he was moving a little bit better, so that was encouraging. But other than that, there was not much to be encouraged by with the defensive play of this team. Bruce, should we just leave it there and you'll get after the game grades?
yeah,
Final thoughts?
They're gonna have to be a whole lot better than that. They've set the bar as low as basically you could possibly set it in the first game of the season. Easily the worst season opener in franchise history. I have not gone through the list, but I'm pretty sure there won't be any 8-1s anywhere within it. It's the worst loss in 8 seasons. First game of the season. Like,
Yeah.
hello. So this is anyway. It's the good news is that if this doesn't get their attention, well, the good news is that this should get their attention, and we need to see a way better top to bottom performance from the goalies, the defense, the forwards, the penalty kill, the power play. The coaches. There was really nothing in that department that Vancouver weren't clearly superior in this game.
Indeed. Bruce, thanks for talking tonight.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.